welcome back to the desk, everybody. We have our first matchup of the day, Tent Supremacy versus Xylo. Should be pretty hype. Make sure you dump in your channel points, make those predictions. I am now participating myself. Guys, are we all predicting Xylo? Is anyone brave enough to take Tent Supremacy here? And as we talk about it, I'm going to throw up the team stats for today because maybe this will help make your decision a little bit more. Tent Supremacy sitting at 1-1 record. Xylo 4-0. Although last week we're in danger of losing both matches against Symphony and Red Sun. Before that, they looked invincible. Now maybe you have some second doubts. So looking at the stats, IPS, what are you seeing? What are you predicting?
Well, Xylo's spread average has definitely gone down since last week's 2 sets. And, I'm honestly going to say it, but I think that might have been because he didn't have Neo. I don't think for Xylo, Neo necessarily carries, but I feel like he's definitely a massive part of that team. He definitely gets a lot of the kills and puts in a lot of the work. So maybe without him, they don't have the same kind of killing power as it usually would. So maybe that's what happened last week. But even then, they still have the most wins out of any team. I believe the least loss in any team. They still get a lot of kills per minute. They still do not even die a lot. So they're still putting in a lot of work. Their only mediocre stat is pain. But you don't really need pain if you're killing everyone. So
yeah, they definitely don't seem to focus on paint, and maybe that's an area where Tent Supremacy could abuse because they are the top painting team after 2 games.
Yeah, it is very true. They do run a mini, so that is definitely part of that. Since mini just paints just a lot, the whole role of the weapon is just to paint, throw burst bombs, get missiles. So you are just a painting machine.
Yeah. All right. Well, as we look and introduce the team and their name, we got Tent Supremacy leader Cheese, Sar, Boy, Cruz, and Salty. So if you are here to vote for Tent Supremacy, throw in some emotes, throw in some all caps Tent Supremacy, give them some hype. Meanwhile, they are taking on Xylo, headed up by team captain Akumu. And here today is going to be Action, Dino, No, and Blue. So Akumu is not in. If you are here to represent and root for Xylo, throw that in the chat as well. But Joe, Ryan, before we get into game number 1, we got 60 seconds here as the teams choose their weapons. Give me a percentage. Do you think Tent Supremacy can actually upset Xylo? Give me a number here. What percentage?
So this is going by the prediction itself, 97% to 3%. So the 3% saying that the Xylo can be upset by Tent Supremacy, but I feel like it's something like a 10% because of that paint in the stats, and they actually have the most specials. So same from the mini. So missile spam from the mini splatling or doing the rain with the alternate mini splatling, the zinc, that could work out. But the aggressiveness of Xylo would definitely be painful. Definitely from seeing them winning low ink, that's definitely might be a scare factor, but they'll have a chance.
All right, well, you're saying there's a chance. We are ready for game number 1. We'll see. Can Tent Supremacy pull this off? There is a lot of fans here in the chat. Maybe that chat power will compel them for the win. But let's get ready for game number 1. So IPS and Joe Ryan, take it away with some beautiful commentation.
All right. So Clan Blitz Sturgeon Shipyard, definitely a bit of a crazy map if a push does happen. So looking at these comps, Jordan, what do you think of them?
Okay, let's see it first though. We do see a tent from Tent Supremacy, obviously predicted, an NZAP, a CDS with Rain, and a Tetra Dualies. On the side of Xylo, we do see the K-Shot, we do see the Vivid Sniper, we do see an L3, D, and we do
that's actually H3.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, it's the H3. I always messed them up. But we definitely see this straight off the bat. We see Tent Supremacy getting 2 down.
It's sad though, 2 down. Do go on this. 2 down. Go down. That 2 down on the side of Tent Supremacy. So right now in mid is just kind of a stalemate. Not much going on as both teams just trading kills. And he's with this 10. He's gonna place a beacon under there, and he's maybe gonna try to make a play on the right here. Gonna put out his 10 shield for his mates and himself, and They're trying to look for someone, but 2 down now on the side, 10 Supremacy. H3 now is going to push in the mid, and he's going to have a back here as Xylo does get control of mid here, and probably start building clamps for a pretty decent push here. Missiles at the ready for Neo here. Maybe looking to use them soon. Bow Blower does come out from Xylo. Armor coming out as well. Unfortunately, one does go down. Oh, a pick by Dino. He's got the back though as H does go down the side Xylo. And again, a 2v2 situation. Boy here on the CDS is going to try maybe get mid now with Cheese. Looking to push Neo here. Oh,
I can't eliminate my bomb.
Palm on the shield. Very unfortunate there. But Neo here in mid is going to try maybe take that fight against Tampa. He's going to pop. Oh, it's
another bomb kill.
Man, yo, this tent right now is turning on friendly fire, it seems. But I believe he's going to jump out now as Dino does get a power clam with Bombers at the ready. Probably Xylo now looking to make a push. They do have 23 clams. Bombers coming out from Dino here. Tetris do go down. One on the right side for Ted Supremacy. He's going to have to back up. Boy here, maybe look for some picks, but might go down. No, he's going to back up. Oh, Neo taking a fight. Going to kill them.
Yeah, they got double elimination, but right now, with Xylo, they're just dominating inside the base of 10 Supremacy, but also the 2 clams already coming in, and now just might be looking like Xylo in action, actually, trying to get more clams, saving number 999. They're all just dabbling in the base, while the rest of it staying still. We do see Yamura on the side of the right, trying to sneak, but with only 15 clams left, they could be Xylo's game straight off the bat.
Hit Blue here, scoring some clams, and that's
Action. Action with the win.
Just like that. And, Xylo just wins.
Yeah.
They're really looking like back to their week 1 and 2 selves, it seems. Just basically get first push, and that's the win. And honestly, I don't know. Like, what do you have to say about that match, Luke?
I mean, that was kind of crazy watching, and it seemed like right off the gate, 10 Supremacy was going toe-to-toe. You saw them take 3 down. As they went 3 down, it looked like this battle for mid was going to last forever. And then all of a sudden, Xylo, all they needed is a couple picks, and then they took control, never let it go. And it's just like, man, they're putting on a clinic of, I feel like, being patient enough to realize when they have the advantage, realize when they need to just back off and regain control, regain specials. And from there, all it took is one push, Joe Ryan. That's all they need.
Yeah. Literally just one push can actually mess up everything. But that's all depending on the overpowerment. And that's what Xylo did. That's what Xylo is known for. So what really 10 Supremacy needs to do is play somewhat more defense or try to sneak and try to get a kill on the most needed player. And that would be something like the K-Shot or the H3.
Yeah, and Joe Ryan, it seemed like you were calling out in the middle of the game there that there's quite a few suction bomb kills going against 10 Supremacy. How do they maybe bring some awareness to that so it doesn't happen again for game 2?
Well, you can't really do that. It's a hit or miss. So just don't get close to the 10th umbrella and then you get the win. You can pass that so easily, but everyone slipping and sliding, definitely been a shooter weapon. It's more or less impossible.
All right, well,
I mean,
go ahead.
May think for 10, like, you got a 10 on your team, the last thing you want to ever do is go in front of your 10. Because if he puts out that shield and the other team has brains, which Xylo definitely does, they're just going to throw a bomb right at that shield and you're dead. You always want your 10 to be ahead of you anyway, even then, because usually they have specials that push, hammer, bubbles. Those are specials that will help you get in and help you, like, push forward. And usually the other team is going to have to focus that 10. So I feel like 10 Supremacy, if they do keep running 10, they're going to have to use that to their advantage. You're going to have to use their advantage the fact that Xylo sometimes might need to focus that 10 to kill him, to get him out of certain places where they don't want him to be.
Yeah.
And then with that, take advantage and collapse on Xylo. But if they're just going to go in front of the tent, they're just going to go down to bombs.
And just as we get ready for game 2, someone DCs. So lucky. We are so lucky here.
Who DC?
Oh my goodness, someone from 10 Supremacy. So good timing on their end. Right as the person starts up the match, of course, we hit a DC. So while a little bit more time, Xylo should just be able to knock them out, and then we will reset here, but gives us a little more time. Yes, Nugget, to run an ad. No, we're not. We're not gonna run an ad here. We're gonna just get the person back in here, and then we'll get this set back up once again. So, yeah, I'm curious to hear from you, IPS, about No and the difference maker No brings to this team. We've seen Xylo last week without No, 2 matchups almost lose. Every other matchup with No or Neo that Xylo has played has been pretty dominant so far, and I'm pretty sure they won Low Inc with Neo in. So why is he such a big difference maker for this team?
I mean, I feel like he's just really, really good, and he's got really good mechanical skill, and a lot of times he's just getting so many picks for Xylo. Like, he is just being basically like a massive needle into the other team's leg. Like, if you don't kill him, he's just gonna go off and kill you. You know, like, you just gotta kill him. And with that, it's like when he's off killing people, that opens so many opportunities for the rest of his team. And also, it's like he's also just a smart player. Like you saw there versus Supremacy in that first game. He just saw, oh, okay, you're gonna go in front of the 10 shield. Okay, I'll just bomb the shield and you're dead. He got 2 picks with that. Right, like usually that's something you see happen like once in a blue moon. But he just got 2 picks with that in one game, like in like around a minute. You know, he's just really smart. He's abusing his opponent's weaknesses, and in general, he's just a really, really strong player mechanically and game sense wise. So he definitely just brings a lot to help Xylo just win these games.
Yeah. Well, we got our players back into the lobby. Xylo getting that 100-0 win. Of course, though, that was just a DC, so 10th Supremacy wasn't even playing. But we'll get here ready into game number 2. Just want to take a second to thank you, Republic Speed Up and Paladin Knight Prime 2 for the follows. You guys are getting us to our next goal, 600 followers, so thank you guys for the follows. We are ready for game number 2. Players are back in. Cross your fingers for no DC, and Joe, Ryan, and IPS take us away for game number 2 between 10th Supremacy and Xylo.
Oh, the Joey is starting up.
Yeah. Skipper splat zones. I am definitely expecting some weird weapons here, Joe Ryan. So take it away. Tell us the weapons they got here.
So let's see. We do see on the 10th Supremacy more or less the same set, but we do see the H3 that is copied by Action. So, and more or less for the side of Xylo, it's the same set, but we do see the Natil's coming out. So it's not really weird. It's more or less they're trying to go for paint. But right now, it's all with the story. Or maybe it might be changing out to 10th Supremacy.
Yeah, we do see that Sorella Tenebrella coming out from 10th Supremacy, which is definitely, it's not as an unorthodox weapon, but on this map, Curling Rush is just strangely really good. But so far, he hasn't... Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So far, hasn't been able to use it, though, as Neil here is going to just push this 10. You have a Blue Bomb to his feet, maybe looking for swings, does get the 10, maybe looking for 2, does get 2. Neil here already putting in some massive work, maybe looking for 3, does get 3. Just, Neil, man, he's just popping off on them.
Neil really popping up. They might need a 4, but right now, Neil just camping inside the temple. They might just be waiting. But right now, potential maybe being blocked up by every opponent. Storage almost falling up, actually hitting the armor. But with only 1 down, intensely having more power. Let's see how it goes. But with everyone from Xylo in the middle, looks like there might be no hope unless Dwayne does something. But it might not.
Yep. Actually, you're getting 2 picks, and that's going to be it. Because Xylo's just going to get the KO here and on it. Yeah. Blue gets that pick there. Yeah, that's going to be game.
Yeah.
That is
just waited.
2-0. And I think less than 2 minutes right there in the second game. So, yeah. Luke, what do you think, man, watching this? It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Xylo again popping off, showing why they are right now undefeated, the #1 team. We saw last week a couple teams being able to challenge them, that being Red Sun and Symphony. But it seems like these kind of mid-level teams just are getting outclassed, and it's not, from what I can tell, this epic strategy that, you know, these mid-level teams don't know how to play against. It's just that Xylo has some really great individual players, and if you can't stay alive against them, it's hard to get anything done. And just right there, it just seemed like they're getting taken off the map time and time again. Xylo able to take that one fairly quickly, as you called out there, IPS.
Yeah. Just, like I said, Neo is just a massive part of that team. We just saw him get a triple there, like casually. He dropped the Booyah Bomb. He popped the Booyah Bomb and dropped it right on his feet, gets the tent, picks another guy in front of him, and then the H3 just overpeaks a little bit. He just sees that, kills the H3. And that's that. That's 3 down. And that's just basically massive points then coming in for Xylo. So honestly, right now, Ted Supremacy, they did kill Neo once, but what I feel like is that when they killed Neo that one time, they were way too slow. They gave enough time for Xylo to go, all right. So Neo now is going to come back from spawn. For the time being, let's play a little bit defensive, bunker up. And that's what they did. They bunkered up. And then actually got 2 picks. And the other 2 also died to whoever. And, that was it. That was basically Ted Supremacy's push done. By then, Neo had respawned and, game was over then by basically they had to basically get a wipe and just get in zone immediately. But, that's way too difficult to do at that point in the game.
Well, Joe Ryan, being a team captain, how do you get your team mindset back? I mean, there's a lot of fans here rooting on Tent Supremacy. First 2 games didn't look so hot. What do they need to do for game number 3 for that mental reset and still have a chance in this series?
Well, more or less for the mental reset, what you just need to do is just wash out the last 2 games and just think about what's going on wrong. And like IPS, like you said, with Neo being the big team play on this, maybe they might need to try to hunt Neo and at the same time try to hunt Action, at the same time getting that triple last game. So really, if they watch out the last games, just think about the weapon comps again and try to play more strategy-wise. Maybe not bunker up so much like they did in the last 2 games because they were just basically trapping them each other. But with tower control, you maybe just try more sneaks.
So we now are seeing their comps. Basically, Xylo going pretty much with the same thing, not much different. Meanwhile, though, Tent Supremacy, I'm just looking right at those M-Parry splat dualies. That is something I have not seen in a while. So definitely interesting pick coming out from Boyd there, but already 2 down on the side of Tent Supremacy, and Xylo just getting the first control of the game. 3 down. This might be a delayed wipe here if they do get the zap as well, but that zap does have armor at the ready, and Tent Supremacy now coming back. The zap does go down. Neo here is just going to push up now, has Booyah Bomb at the ready, is going to pop that Booyah. Bamboo does go down, and parries go down as well. Right now, just Neo and Xylo in general just going off. And, they do really good pick by Yamura there on Neo, although that's not going to stop the push yet, as Down just stays on that tower. Action is going to push him. Yamura getting another pick. Yamura, they're just actually stopping that push, so...
Good job. And right now, inside the Tent Supremacy, we see Tent Supremacy just trying to trap as much as they can to just reclaim the base and reclaim the middle. But just to say right now, Tent Supremacy doesn't have a Tent Umbrella. Oh, what is this? Why is this not Tent Supremacy? This is not Tent Supremacy that we don't think of. But really, right now, this might be the advantage right now. Because the Bamboo actually is teaming up with the Ink, and actually, what's Petro's that? Isn't that a missile?
Yeah, they have missiles.
Yeah, then definitely. That could be a good strategy, just to split everyone from Xylo up. And actually, right now, we do see Xylo being 3 down. So that's having the more chance of getting control.
Another pick on the charge there. He was close to it. It's a good pick. All action, though, coming with the 1 tap on that machine. And now Boyd popping HM missiles also coming out right now. Xylo kind of on the back foot for the first time in this whole series. And, they might have got to pull out someone here, or, Tent Supremacy is just going to snowball them. As I say that, the T-Tech does go down for Xylo. 2 down for Xylo now, although the machine does go down for Tent Supremacy. Oh, Neo, though, getting that 1 pick, maybe looking for 2. Is going to get 2. Might go back to help his teammate. Oh, not. Blue's going to get that pick on the boy there, so that is going to be the end of Tent Supremacy's push, but... Tent Supremacy definitely playing a lot better, but if they can just get those picks and get past that first check, that is where they can snowball. But right now they got to worry about the Xylo's push as they do pop missiles, although their charger is down. So right now Blue Shark in here, maybe waiting for one to drop. Zap does drop on him. Blue gets that pick. Really good pick by him there. So Jorian, what do you think Tent Supremacy needs to do to actually just get back in here, kill Xylo, and get their own push going?
really what they need to do for them to actually kill Xylo again, they need to do what they did the first time. They need to kill Blue, who's the K-Shot, and they need to kill Neo, the K-Pro. They're the two most important people in this match right now with the KD of 7 and 8, comparing to them with Yamura getting the 7 kill though. So they really just need to kill the most accurate players so they can push up. At least getting a triple would be the best enough. But right now, with Xylo having made it to the last checkpoint, just camping 10 Supremacy again, I think that might be it.
Yeah, with those missiles coming out, the miracle has to happen. Nah, that's going to be game. That's it. Xylo taking down 10 Supremacy in pretty convincing fashion. 3-0, just staying here, keeping to prove that they are just the best team in amateur right now. It's just crazy.
And that's really the end of the set with 3-0 to Xylo. And that's been only the speed 1% of amateur. If we're going to go back to there, has that been maybe 30 minutes? Good enough timing.
Yeah. Well, it was a good game. I feel like 10 Supremacy definitely in game 3 put up a good fight. They had that good push, so props to them. I don't want to take anything away from them, even though it was a rough 3-0. They still showed up today in that game 3. They had a real shot at taking a match off of Xylo, which would have been a huge win for them. Sitting at a 1-2 record now, IPS. We've seen them for 3 games, a little bit less than some of the other teams. How are you feeling about 10 Supremacy so far throughout the season?
I mean, they did beat Symphony pretty convincingly, but unfortunately these past 2 weeks they did go down to regular gamers and Xylo. So, I feel like 10 Supremacy definitely can maybe come in here and definitely be one of the top 4 teams, but as of right now, they got a lot of things to iron to now because it seems like they might have a good coordination in the sense of their paint and using their specials, which is pretty much how they kind of beat Symphony. But I feel like as individual mechanical player in their mechanical skill, I feel like just teams like regular gamers with time on, or Neo on Xylo is just pretty much out mechanicking them completely and just winning their fights. I think 10 Supremacy has to go back and just learn how to win their fights because they always talk about coordination, team coordination, specials, all that. But in the end, the main thing is, in basics, when you're learning how to just play comp properly, is just winning your fights and choosing which fights you should take. That's honestly the most important thing sometimes.
Yeah. Well, 10 Supremacy has a kind of an up and down season so far. I feel like, beating Symphony in pretty convincing fashion, losing to regular gamers, and then now, losing to Xylo, which wasn't a huge surprise here. I feel like they still have a shot going forward in the regular season. They still have the most games to be played out of anyone. They have 5 more games to go, so they definitely could still end up with a good record and still make playoffs. But I think this is hopefully a wake-up call for them that they should just keep working hard, keep practicing, and I think that they have a real shot if they do that. But a tough loss here today. Meanwhile, Joe, Ryan, before we move on, talk us up a little bit more about Xylo, now 5-0. Can anyone take them down this season in the Amateur League?
Well, right now, with Xylo being 5-0, and it's only 3 more weeks of matches left, basically, and looking at all these matches, I think that's it. Xylo basically claimed the spot because they already went against Red Sun. They already went against. Wait, did he go against West Berkeley? Oh, they did.
Yeah,
they won.
They've beaten the other higher teams, and their next 3 weeks against more of the backside of their schedule, which is basically regular gamers, OO Gang, and Cracker Warriors. So unless those teams can pull off an upset, it's definitely going to be pretty convincing for Xylo. They might literally go into playoffs with a 8-0 record, which is definitely going to be scary for those other 3 playoff teams.
Yeah,
definitely.
It is interesting to watch them. We've seen them some of the highest Splatoon action definitely in the Amateur League, although last week, as we said, they were in danger of throwing away their undefeated season. We'll see if they can continue it the next few weeks.